everyone. This podcast is part of Story Mode, the podcast network of Gamefully Unemployed. You can support us and gain access to other great exclusive podcasts at patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. That's patreon.com/GAMEFULLY unemployed, which is spelled like it sounds.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, everyone.
My name is David Bell.
I'm Tom Ryman.
And we just watched Overlord.
Overlord.
Overlord. That was good.
What's inside that church? What happens to those people? They have been given a purpose. Purpose.
That was solid. It's like we planned it.
Yeah.
It was so like we planned it.
Okay.
I was honestly pleasantly surprised by this movie.
Oh, okay.
I did not expect to like it, and I liked it.
I didn't hate it, but I found it generic and forgettable. For me, it was like a really well done straight to VOD movie I'd discover and then watch and then forget about.
It seemed I can see that. I was impressed by the direction.
Sure.
Because it's being sold as it's a J.J. Abrams production, and really he just produced it. And what that has meant in the past is that it's a fine to bad director that J.J. Abrams has just put money behind.
Right. This wasn't a bad director.
The direction was actually pretty good. There was some impressive shots, and there's an impressive oneer at the end when he's running out of the base.
Yeah, that was good. My gripe was mostly with the story. I found to be just very boring and generic.
It's a little too long. That's my only complaint against it, is that it's a little too long. You could have cut probably 15 minutes out of it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, near the beginning they spend a lot of time.
It takes them a little too long to get to the town.
That was a point where I was like, what is this movie about?
Yeah.
Because it was advertised as zombies and Nazis.
It's more like Battle of the Bulge.
Yeah.
It's more like it is technically Nazi zombies, but they're not even really zombies. It's more like Wolfenstein.
Yes. That's what it reminded me of, is a Wolfenstein cutscene, which isn't necessarily bad, but just not something that is particularly amazing.
Yeah, it's much more about, it's a small group of soldiers who have a very specific mission that they have to accomplish. It feels more like The Dirty Dozen, or like The Eagle Has Landed, even though that's the Nazis.
Right. The soldiers are generally bad at what they do, I think.
Except for our main guys.
Yes.
Our main guys are the only competent soldiers in the country, apparently.
I would even disagree with that, because they contributed in. The main thing I noticed in this is they would go somewhere and they'd be like, okay, there's Nazis around. And then they'd proceed to just have loud fucking conversations.
Yeah.
With their weird generic, I'm from Brooklyn guy.
That guy.
When they're hiding in an attic and they're just yelling at each other. They're torturing a guy.
Yeah.
They fire their guns.
Mm-hmm.
And the Nazis just don't notice by pure luck, because they're in an occupied town.
Yeah, they're in an occupied town in France. And they've got it's the night before the D-Day invasion.
Right.
And they have to take out this radio tower that's on this
Felt like
church.
a Wolfenstein or Call of Duty mission.
Yeah.
Because they're telling them in the plane, going, all right, here's what you got to do. And it's well, they didn't tell them before this, huh? All right.
Yeah.
That's what I mean, I guess, by generic, is that it all feels very like the person who wrote it did some Wikipediaing, and that's about it.
Yeah.
And there's not much like when they find the Nazi vials, it's just these big sinister vials of red goo, and it's this is like a video game.
It's very much like a video game.
Yeah, but it didn't.
I had that thought as well.
Yeah,
it's like a video game.
It didn't have enough camp for me, I guess, to
No,
make
it's
up for
very
that.
serious.
Yeah. It's surprisingly serious.
Yeah.
There's one ironic moment, or it felt where they were going for Iron Sky, where she takes out the flamethrower.
Yeah.
And then that's just one moment, and then it sort of.
Yeah.
So it wasn't bad. I don't know. I didn't have much to cling on to, I guess, in terms of enjoyment.
Really?
Yeah.
I liked the characters.
See, I didn't like the characters. They're all so loud.
Well, I liked,
and like they're all like.
I liked the two main characters. I liked the main guy, Private Boyce.
Oh yeah, I liked Kurt Russell.
And then little Kurt Russell.
Yeah,
Wyatt
I liked
Russell.
little Kurt Russell. I thought of this as like an audition tape because there was so many lines where it was just like, oh, that's Kurt Russell.
Yeah, this is Kurt Russell. It is a Kurt Russell role.
Yeah, and I feel like more actors should do this: is have kids and be like, all right, son, you're gonna be the next me.
You're gonna be the me now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Harrison Ford's got to get one.
Yeah, he needs a little Harrison Ford.
Yeah. Denzel Washington. He has a kid, right?
Yeah, he was in Black Klansman.
Yeah. He's just got to act exactly like his father.
There's so many moments in this where Wyatt Russell is just doing Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
But it's fine. It's like, well, if there's one person who can get away with it, it's you. Like
it's like when Bob Dylan's son had a band and he just basically sounded more like him. It's like, sure, okay.
Yeah, sure. You can.
When the other one dies, we'll have this one.
We'll give you that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
We replenish.
It's a spare.
We replenish the tree of of Bob Dylan.
So yeah, he was my favorite part of this.
Yeah, but otherwise, it is a fairly generic story about a group of soldiers who have to go do a very specific covert mission in this town,
right? And
they run into a French woman,
right,
who helps them.
I guess stealing stuff, but not. She's not.
She was
okay, but she was like going in the woods away from her village, and then so I thought she was abandoning the village.
She had a bag full of like jewelry and then also a rabbit. So
I guess what was she doing in the woods?
I think she was catching food and also looting the bodies.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Because then she leads them back into the village with her aunt that we never meet.
She's like a failed zombie.
Yeah,
she's like this weird. We learn that the Nazis are taking the villagers and just whoever into these labs that are beneath the church in the center of town because they found some ancient power down there that they're turning into goo.
Yep.
And they gooified her aunt, who she just looks like a big old bloated sack of oats.
It's weird how like they really skip over the aunt a lot.
Yeah.
Like the woman like is just like, yeah, that's my aunt, she's sick. And then they keep being like, what's going on there and stuff like that. And she's like, don't go into my aunt's room, anybody. Like she knows what's going on, right?
I don't think she knows zombie. I think she knows they took her, they injected her with some shit that's like killing her in a weird, grotesque way.
Why did they return her? Because they don't return anybody else.
I don't know. I guess because we learned that the SS guy that's in charge of the village is like...
He's into her in a very rapey way.
Yeah, he's basically been raping her.
Right.
In exchange for, hey, I won't kill you or your brother. But like, here's your weird fucked up aunt to remind you who's in charge.
I guess. Yeah. They've been... But they show them burning the bodies and stuff.
Right, all the other ones that are like failed.
Yeah. It's weird. I don't know why.
It's weird.
I don't know why she has that aunt.
I don't know. Like, I thought it was going to turn into a Night of the Living Dead situation where the aunt was going to zombify while they were all still in the house.
Right. Yeah.
That doesn't happen.
The aunt was unnecessary.
The aunt was not a necessary thing.
Yeah. It wasn't. It wasn't bad, but it was confusing. I feel like maybe they needed it because they wanted another horror beat there or something. Because they don't have. It's not really a horror film.
Not really.
It's got a couple of jump scares, but
and there's some grotesqueries in it too.
Yeah.
Like when he gets into the lab. See, if you took the aunt out and just had our first inclination that anything was even amiss be when he hides in the bodies and accidentally ends up inside the base, and it's just a horror show.
Yeah, he blunders his way through that base.
He sure does.
Okay, that was actually a question that I think has an answer, because they cut to him in the woods watching the bodies get burned.
Yeah.
Why is he out there?
He was supposed to go meet up with the other two guys.
Okay, got it. And then he gets chased by a dog. And gets into the truck that happens to have bodies
loaded
in it.
with dead bodies.
He should have probably shot the dog. I mean, I know it's a bummer, but at war, like...
Well, I mean, somebody would have heard the gunshot is the point.
Oh, I mean, I guess stabbed the dog.
Yeah.
Something. Maybe. I don't know, whatever. And then he gets into the thing full of bodies. That felt like a video game stealth.
It's a real Ravenous situation.
Yeah.
Remember the film Ravenous?
Oh yeah.
Ravenous.
Yeah. And then they stop and they unload 2 of the bodies, and then they keep going.
Yeah.
Did you notice that?
Yeah. They unload 2 of the bodies. It gives them enough time to
on?
sneak back out, and then the truck starts back up, and
Yeah.
the truck leaves. Like, where are you going with the rest of the bodies?
Yeah.
Our Nazi doctor needs these bodies.
Right.
My main question that doesn't have an answer
Right.
was when they first parachute into the French countryside and fucking everything's gone wrong. Most of their little group is dead. Their plane crashed. He meets back up with Lil Kurt Russell and the other 2 guys. And they find this carcass, and it's like they're arguing over what it is. Like, oh, it smells bad. Oh, it fucking looks weird. Oh, it looks like a jackal.
Yeah.
What kind of jackal has hooves? That's what I'm saying. It's not like a normal jackal.
And
so I thought that was building up toward like some kind of weird mutant dog project they were doing.
Nothing.
That
was the first moment where I was like, these guys need to be quiet. Because again, they were like, shh, we're sneaking. And then the main character, he kept doing that thing. He did it like maybe like 2.5 times actually, where he sees like some atrocity happen and tries to like get up and run into the middle of it. And they have to like stop him, and it's like, what is wrong with this guy?
It's like, dude,
has he never lived like ever?
He does say he's only like 3 months ago he was at home cutting his grass, and then he got drafted.
They're all they all seem very new at this.
Yeah,
the first sequence on the plane, they're all just scared, which is I don't know. See, I don't know much about this war stuff, but it felt like they got a bunch of like rookies and gave them an important mission. That's like hard, but like maybe that's just how things were.
I don't know.
Again, I feel like the screenwriter didn't do much research.
Right.
Not that he necessarily needed to.
It's not necessary.
Yeah.
You can get by on tropes. We all understand.
Yeah,
like
it was a lot of tropes.
You're pointing out like them getting the mission briefing in the airplane. It's like, well, that's saving time too.
Oh
like,
yeah.
We didn't want a whole extra scene of them getting the mission briefing on the ground.
But like it made it all feel like, since it was so like serious too.
Yeah.
Like it felt like when like you're watching a movie and there's an actor character and they show a clip from his movie, and it's like that where it's like
it's like parody.
Yeah, not a parody. I want to say it's just like the movie version of what movies are.
Yeah.
So it's like when the guy gets shot in the chest and he's dying. Like he's just talking normal and being like, "Oh man, I'm shot," and like he's like his face is fully. He's like there's blood in his face. He looks fine. Like he looks like an actor who they just laid down there and put like
I don't know,
and like he didn't really like sell it or anything. I don't know.
I didn't have a problem with that because it was sort of a thing. Like he was trying to like it made sense to me. Like it was like. I could see maybe...
He just didn't look like a man who was shot.
Maybe not in the face. Like the way he was behaving I got, because it was like he was trying to minimize it. He's like, no, I'm fine. I got to sit up. I'm fine. I got to sit up.
Right.
Like,
but he was like he was like getting up there.
Yeah, he was trying to.
Like I think of that versus like Vin Diesel and Saving Private Ryan.
Right. Same kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where he's like minimizing
same kind of thing, just
what's happening to him.
Done
And he's like
better.
still... Yeah, right. Exactly.
And like I don't know, like this is what I was saying before when we got out of the movie. I was like, I don't know if I can talk about this for 45 minutes. Not because I hated it, but because like I don't want to put it down either. Because it's just like if people like it, then it's good. Go see it.
Yeah, I thought it was
like that's the thing. It's just, it didn't work for me.
I thought it was a fun kind of drive-in kind of movie, kind of like a B movie.
Yeah.
It's perfectly fine. I mean, I came into this movie. Not giving one rat's ass about it.
Yeah.
Didn't want to see it at all.
Well, yeah, because it's
like,
Nazi zombies, which is fucking 10 years too late.
Yeah.
And they...
But then
at
it
least
kind of goes more towards Nazi occult, which I'm like, okay.
Yeah, exactly. I was
Like-
I was most scared they were going to Iron Sky it and be like, look
I
how
started seeing
ironic
that.
we are.
Yeah.
And like,
I'm glad it was... If it was fucking winking at me irony, I might have walked out.
Yeah, no, I'm glad it didn't
Sorry,
do that.
guys. Sorry, podcast listeners.
That
I
was-
might have left.
I mean, that was... Yeah, I would have not been into that. I was most interested when it was like kind of taking a while to get started, and I was like, what is this, a war movie?
Yeah, it's more like a war movie.
Yeah.
It's like the war sequence. It's sort of like... I mean, it's not as tense, obviously,
No,
but
it's
it's
not.
sort of like the Fassbender scene in the basement bar in Inglourious Basterds only stretched into an entire movie.
That first sequence worried me because it was like, that's a tense moment. They're getting on this plane, they're skydiving out while it's blowing up, but it felt like that shot they held on him as he fell out, it felt like they had given, like they took tension, or like they put that aside because they had a cool idea for a shot. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
It didn't. Whenever something gets like too CGI-ish like that, where the camera, then I'm just like, okay. Like this is nothing's. I don't know. Nothing's at stake suddenly. The camera was so floaty and like.
I see what you're saying. I didn't hate that because it was
neat.
It was bridging on the chaos because like, the plane had blown up. You didn't know who was still alive, and then he just gets thrown out of the plane and he can't even orient himself.
It wasn't a bad sequence.
Like I thought it was effective more because I felt like the tension was building on just the compounding chaos of what was happening.
Right.
Like everything is out of control now.
Right, yeah. No, it wasn't terrible.
No idea if like the guy he just saw was still alive or Sergeant Bokeem Woodbine.
Right.
Oh, Bokeem. He's in 2 scenes.
Is that what's his name? Shocker?
He's the Shocker, yeah.
The guy who looks somewhat like Dave Chappelle.
He was in The Rock.
He was in The Rock.
One of the Marines in The Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not in it for very long.
No, that was a big shame because I like him.
Yeah, me too. And I sort of knew that was what the part was going to be because you get someone who's kind of recognizable in the lead officer role and then kill him. So it's like, oh shit, what do we do? It's the Captain Dallas.
Right, yeah. There's.
As soon as I saw him in that role, I was like, oh, he might not even make it out of this airplane.
Right.
Like.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't bad. It's just there wasn't a moment that was original in this, is what you're, like, from beginning to end, because it's like the captain dies heroically and the other guy, and then they find this facility, and then we have to blow this up, and then they blow it up, and they leave, and it just feels like a million other things.
It deals heavily in World War II tropes.
Yes,
it definitely does. You have,
but also like zombie tropes and like and like the ending where they're like, we have to blow this place to the ground. It was just like that felt like so many other movies.
Well, that was always the plan, though.
Right, that's true. But I mean, it just there was no surprises, I guess.
Not really.
And
the fact that it wasn't straight up zombies, the fact that it was a cult,
right,
was more of a surprise.
It was the dead coming back to life.
Yeah, but not zombies though. Really,
no, they're like mutants.
Yeah. And the zombies. Honestly, I mean, spoiler: there's not a lot of them in this movie.
No, except for the end.
There are 3.
Yeah,
there are 3 zombies that we see, but they do look pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, this is, I guess, mostly a war movie,
Mm-hmm.
I guess.
Yeah.
They spend a lot of time torturing that guy.
Yeah, they beat that guy's ass.
Yeah.
He's Euron Greyjoy from Game of Thrones.
That's where
he looks like from. Diet Michael Shannon.
Yes. The whole time I was watching this, I was like, man, it would have been cool to get Michael Shannon. Yeah. But I don't think he can do a German accent.
I would love to see Michael Shannon attempt a German accent.
I would love to see him not attempt it. And
right, he's just Michael Shannon as an SS officer.
Yeah, just not giving a fuck.
Yeah, so Wyatt Russell beats the holy hell out of this SS guy to try to get...
Right, this is after they go to the woman's house and they yell in her attic for a while.
Spend a lot of time shouting in the attic.
Yeah, and then the SS officers come, and then he gets real rapey, and they capture him.
This is another, we were saying this happens 2.5 times to the main character, where it's like,
yeah, that was
he
one of the
can't
times.
stop himself from going down there and holding the SS guy at gunpoint.
Right.
Even though like the corporal a couple of times like, fucking stop, man, you're gonna get us caught.
What would have been I thought would be neat was if the corporal that time was just like, all right, and like went down and did
yeah. I mean, he
goes with it immediately.
He goes with it. Yeah, he's like,
he doesn't. Oh yeah, and then he does this. This was another. I don't know. It was things like this, and then he headbutts him.
He sure does.
And it was that where he headbutts him to knock him out, and I'm like, okay, movie, are you serious? Are you a serious movie, are you not a serious movie? Like, what are you? What are you trying to do here? Because you just had a rape scene, and like,
yeah,
and it's like, what am I supposed to feel about you? Because that man just knocked a man out with his head.
Headbutt. Yeah.
Kurt Russell Jr.
Yep.
Just
Like
Florida
a
Nazi
man
with his head
to the earth.
Yeah.
I was in it at that point. I was like, okay, he headbutted him. All right.
Yeah.
Like, because he sort of looks similar too, but like in the very next scene, they string the Nazi up and start beating the shit out of him,
right.
and he basically turns into Jason Clarke from Zero Dark 30.
Yeah, he was sort of the whole time. If I didn't realize he was Kurt Russell's son.
Mm-hmm.
He was fluctuating in and out of Jason Clarke.
Yeah, he's very Jason Clarke in some scenes. He's like he's either Jason Clarke or Kurt Russell, depending on what point of the movie you're watching.
Right, like Jason Clarke could probably play Kurt Russell's son at some point.
Sure.
Well, he doesn't have to now.
No, we've got one.
Yeah,
we've got one.
He could have. If this one didn't work out.
Yeah. So the fucking SS guy gets free and shoots one of their guys.
Right.
And then our main character, Private Boyce, injects him with the goo that he stole because he saw that it brings dead people back to life.
And it brings him back to life.
It brings him back to life, all right. And it's a pretty great sequence, I think.
That sequence, I wish there was more of that because that reminded me of The Thing.
There's moments of this that are very much like The Thing.
Yeah, I would like. There was a CGI face head at one point there that took me out of it when his head flips backwards.
Oh yeah,
and they cut to his face, and it was just like, oh come on. But
I wasn't looking at it because I was looking at how distended, because his collarbone kind of snapped out, and he got dinosaur spikes. Like the body horror part of that was it. Shocked me so much that I didn't notice the CGI right then. I'm sure if I watch it again, I'll be like, because I wasn't expecting it.
Right? Yeah. Why? I'm like, I liked it, but like,
I don't know.
It's not consistent with anything else. They should have done more of it.
The other monster that gets out and chases a French lady has
got like a weird eye.
Yeah, and he's got his bones coming out, like he tries to stab her with his bones.
Right.
Like they're like bones rip out in weird ways.
I would have liked more body horror, that once that happened, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Is this going to be The Thing? Like that would have been great if they started getting more and more Cronenbergian and shit.
Yeah. There's some cool.
I liked the severed head of the lady talking.
What you saying, Silver Play?
Yeah.
It's just a head and a spinal column that's still alive in the lab. The lab is pretty sweet. Like they got tool sacks. The sacks from a Tool video that are full of people.
Yeah. That's. I guess this is what, again, going back to generic, because they're like all evil zombies or Nazis. They're so evil, and they're just doing evil experiments. Like they don't seem to be accomplishing anything in particular. They're just like, let's make things look gnarly and horrible down here.
The main one I get, because they explain the main one. It's like, we need a 1,000-year soldier for the 1,000-year Reich, so we're gonna make.
No,
immortal soldiers.
Immortal soldiers.
Get it.
Super soldiers.
The lady in the spinal column.
Not
don't
sure
get
what they're
it.
doing.
What? You guys just being gross Nazis.
Yeah, exactly. If you asked the Nazi about that, they'd be like, "Oh yeah, that's Diane."
I am being a Nazi.
Just like we keep her around for
Nazi.
Fun. Yeah.
We like to feed her things. It's funny. Because she has no stomach.
Just comes out the other end.
Yeah, it just poops out.
Yeah.
And then he finds his buddy who has like this tube sewn onto his skin.
I thought that was going to be something like at the end. The buddy's spoilers.
He's fine.
He's fine.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be like, oh, but there's like something wrong with him, or
yeah. I guess they hadn't started actually doing anything yet. They had started the embalming process. For a second, I thought he was reanimated because he's got a wound on his head.
Yeah.
And I was like, is that a bullet hole? Because you can't quite see it clearly when he first finds him.
Right.
So I was like, oh, this guy's already a zombie and we don't know it yet. But no, he just saves him and he's fine.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess.
I
didn't even remember. Did that character do anything from then on?
Yeah.
Does that character have a purpose?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
When the corporal and Boyce have to sneak inside to plant the charges, him and Super Brooklyn guy
They're shooting at him.
Shooting all the guys.
I just meant like, is it significant to have that specific character?
Him, not really. We see him briefly in the airplane before he gets out, and he's scared because he's like, "What are they going to do? What are the Germans going to do when they catch a guy named Rosenfeld?"
Oh, right.
And then we don't see him after that. After all that chaos, we're like, "Oh, they got him," and then they find him again in the thing. So it's, I mean, it's the only other character that they had established before then.
Yeah, I guess that's not bad.
There's only like 6 characters in this movie.
Yeah, it's basically the characters established in the plane, and most of them die.
Yep.
And then the lady and the Nazis.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a small cast.
Yeah.
No, it's not a bad cast. No one did a terrible job or anything.
And there wasn't anyone that I was like, man, I can't wait for this dude to be fucking dead.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, the characters, they weren't unlikable. Except that they were loud. Like that was it.
They were very loud.
They were tactless.
They were very loud. You even got the Brooklyn guy get to have that arc with the kid.
Yeah. The kid they steal for no reason.
They sure do.
Just to be sinister.
I leaned into you. They steal. Okay, so they steal the French lady's brother. Well, I guess he's just pissed now because they shot him in the face.
I get why he grabbed the kid at first because it's a hostage.
Human shield.
Yeah. I don't know what they were planning to do with it.
It must have just been rage. Because I leaned over. They find the little boys strapped down in the Nazi monster lab about to be embalmed with monster fluid. So I leaned over. It's like, what are they going to do with Monster Boy?
My guess is that he drove all the way back with the kid, and then the doctor is like, are you going to finish that kid?
Can
do
you
I
need that kid?
Yeah.
Do you need ein Kinder?
Yeah. It's like, yeah, sure, take the kid, I guess.
Ich möchte ein Kinder.
Oh, man.
Und sie hast eins.
So they got to rescue the kid. So they had like an argument about it. Yeah. I didn't like so the argument was like that Kurt Russell wanted to plant the charges.
He just wanted to do his mission.
Right. They did both. And it didn't seem, well, I was going to say it didn't seem that much harder, but I guess he was going to plant the charges on the tower, and they plant it under the tower.
Mm-hmm. They go under the tower so that they can also take out the lab and get the little boy.
It's weird that I guess I get it, because he's just wanted to get the fuck out of there. But like,
well, the thing they do a pretty decent job establishing the fact that he's very much like, we have a job to do.
Right.
Casualties are going to happen. Like he doesn't really. Right. He doesn't mourn any losses. He's just like, that's war. We gotta keep going.
I mean, not even the kid. Like, I get him being like, all right, forget the kid. But they're like, there's like a zombie lab.
There's like a zombie lab down there.
We should probably take care of that.
Probably blow that.
Yeah.
Up. So yeah, they have a brief confrontation, but it's very
brief.
Yeah, it's not like they don't make the character like frustratingly obstinate. He's like, okay, fine, yeah, let's go blow all this shit up.
And they go through their sewer, which is once he finds that sewer, they're just coming in and out of that place.
They go in and out of the Nazi base with ease.
Yeah, it's not a problem anymore.
It's in the catacombs of this church.
And so yeah, they what do they do? They sneak in there.
They do some creepity creeps, and it's not a bad climax. Like they all break off. Kurt Russell goes to blow up the comms room. Boyce goes to blow up the lab, and the woman goes to find her brother, and they all get like a fun little sequence to do.
I don't remember. I remember Kurt Russell's.
Well, Kurt Russell gets attacked by the SS guy, who is now super zombie.
Yeah,
because he's injected himself with like 3 of the vials.
Right.
After
the doctor's like, we didn't test it. Oh, okay, sure.
All right, fine. It looks like it's going fine.
Yeah.
Boyce has a brief fight with the doctor.
Oh yeah.
And then she finds those 2 guards, shoots one of them, and the other guy's like, "Your brother's in here." And he takes her to a cell that just has a regular zombie in it.
Yeah, that
she
was
has
silly.
To run from that zombie.
That was silly because I kept thinking, like, you're going to close that door, right? Like nothing. At first it was like, no, there's no kid in there, lady. Don't get in there.
Yeah.
She's pretty gullible. But yeah, and then that zombie gets out, the sloth one.
That's when we see our first full-on, after Chase, who they
right.
brought back to life and then was just a monster.
Right.
Yeah, that... He pursues her with some vigor.
Oh, yeah. I forget what happens to him.
She kills him with the flamethrower.
Oh, right. She runs out.
Yeah.
And then there's flamethrowers.
I mean, after a lot.
Yeah.
Like, she has to shoot him in the head. He gets shot a bunch. Then she fucking runs out these corridors and then finds a flamethrower and finally kills them with it.
Right.
And then they have to battle the SS guy, Diet Michael Shannon, who is just turbocharged at this point. Puts Kurt Russell on a hook.
Yeah, he does. I love that we're just calling him Kurt Russell.
Because he's so Kurt Russell in most of this sequence.
Yeah. Oh, there's one particular line I forgot. I've already forgotten it, where the delivery was just Kurt Russell.
There's a few, but it's almost the fuck you too when he blows up the lab where he takes out the SS guy's lighter and he's like, I'm done with this. Or it's like, I don't need this anymore.
Yeah.
Then lights the C4 with it. It's very Kurt Russell.
It is. Except he dies. That's not very Kurt Russell.
Right, yeah. That's not super Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
Kurt Russell usually gets away with it.
I'm trying to think when Kurt Russell has died. I guess
Poseidon,
yeah.
Hateful Eight.
Oh yeah, and shit, what's the other one? Death Proof.
Well, he's the bad guy, Death Proof.
Yeah, that's true. That doesn't count.
Mm-mm.
So yeah, I guess he dies every now and then.
Every now and then.
Yeah.
Not often.
But not when he's like this Kurt Russell.
Not when he's this, this is
when
like
he's
the
like
thing.
talking through his teeth.
This is
Kurt
McCready,
Russell.
Jack Burton, Kurt Russell.
Yeah. They should just remake every Kurt Russell film with his son.
With his son in it? Yeah, sure.
Why
Fuck
not?
it. Who gives a shit? Or make Kurt Russell-esque make movies with Kurt Russell roles and put his son in it.
Yeah. Yeah, John Carpenter's got to make a movie with Kurt Russell's son.
Yeah, do that.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. So yeah, then he blows it all up.
He blows it all up.
And then when he runs out, it's a good shot.
Wonder. There's a good wonder when he comes on the beach after cutting 3 of his parachute too. Remember he climbs out on the bank and sits there and it looks around and then he starts getting shot at from like in the way up in the background.
Right.
I did not expect to like this movie and I liked it. Like I enjoyed this movie. I thought it was fun.
That's cool. Yeah, I'm already forgetting it.
I can see that.
Yeah, I'm like it's slipping out of my brain.
Clearly,
right
I attached to it and it just missed you completely.
It really did. Like I was getting sleepy.
It reminded me. I mean, it reminded me of like a Dog Soldiers take.
I like Dog Soldiers
on zombies.
Yeah,
because it's more about this group of characters and like action. You know?
Right. Yeah, it's more action than it is horror.
Yeah, the horror is there.
Which
but it's
is, I actually like when it comes to soldiers, like when you get a bunch of tough guys and then they're faced with something from a horror movie. They're just like, yeah, we're going to shoot it.
Yeah.
We're soldiers.
I mean, obviously, we're going to shoot it.
Yeah.
Oh, when I know another Kurt Russell line is when it seems as if he's beaten and he just kind of pushes that tank over next to the SS dude's foot. And he laughs, and then they both start laughing. Like he does that Kurt Russell "fuck you" laugh, and then he looks and he just says, "Boys," and it's very Kurt Russell.
God damn, there's still like one specific line.
I know there's more,
and he like screams it at the guy or something. I don't know.
There's a lot.
Again, this is the big. What else has he been in?
22 Jump Street.
That's it.
Yeah. Other than that, I don't know if I've seen him in anything.
My big discovery of this movie is that Kurt Russell had a smaller Kurt Russell.
He made a smaller Kurt Russell.
Yeah, and it looks and acts just like Kurt Russell. He has duplicated himself.
Perfect.
Yeah.
You know, win-win.
Yeah.
Because we'll get 40 more years of Kurt Russell movies. Ideally.
We better. Yeah, he can't die. He can't die in the movies.
Mm-mm.
Not movies like this. Like he should have gotten out alive. He should have gotten out, like, been smoking a cigarette while everything's on fire.
Yep. Where were you, childs?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I liked it.
Yeah.
Didn't expect to.
We're only 30 minutes into this.
Really?
Yeah. This is what I'm saying. I don't have any strong opinions about it. It was competent. It just, like, I guess I can try to explore why it didn't work with me. I think it's just because maybe I don't know. It felt like things I've already seen.
Yeah, it doesn't. It basically.
It just I got kind of bored. Like I just wanted it to end. Like you said, it was a little too long.
It's a little too long, definitely.
And that like war Nazis plus supernatural stuff is so very Wolfenstein, and so very like Call of Duty. that I feel like this movie was like, I don't know if this movie's going to do good. The theater had a good amount of people in it.
A lot of people in the theater for.
I was surprised by that because it just doesn't feel.
There's a middle-aged couple sitting next to me.
Yeah, it feels like it's 10 years too late. Like it really.
In some ways,
like the movie itself doesn't feel that way.
Yeah.
But the premise, the advertisements, and the main
idea
thing,
of it,
yeah, it just. Oh yeah, the scares also kind of bothered me. They only had one scare. It was someone looks through something, and then a face. And
I was fine with that because it became very clear early on that this is not a horror movie.
Yes, that's true.
It's
because if they were selling this like this is supposed to be scary, I'd be like, no, I didn't mind that either, just because it was an action movie.
It's an
with
action
horror
movie,
elements.
Yeah, it's Aliens.
Yeah.
I mean, it's more similar to Aliens than like a horror movie.
Right. I think of Aliens as horror. But yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I've seen Aliens so many times now that I can't even like think of what genre it is. It's just Aliens.
Yeah.
Oh, no, sorry. I'm thinking of Alien, not Aliens.
Yeah. Yeah.
Big difference.
Huge. Alien is 1,000% a horror movie.
Yeah. Aliens, yeah.
Not a horror movie.
Yeah, not a horror movie.
I'm never scared in Aliens.
No.
Yeah, I think maybe because it trades so much on it's really just a collection of tropes. They're all done well.
Yeah, it's done well,
but it is all very familiar. That's true.
Yeah.
But it's done well.
It is done well. It's not a bad movie. Like I'm not like I wasn't, it didn't affect me in any way, where again it's like if someone's like I like this movie, I'm like, cool. That's good. Yeah, like I have nothing against this movie. I look forward, I'm sure this director will go on to make other things. He hasn't done anything. I looked it up. He did like one film and like a short film, nothing I'd heard of at least. But I definitely will say, in terms, you know what, I'll give it that. In terms of J.J. Abrams producing films,
this is my favorite one.
Yes. Well, yes, because I would say that 10 Cloverfield Lane was my favorite one, except
it was 90%
exactly, and that made it so much worse.
Yeah,
because it was frustrating. Because it was like, here's a really good movie,
that we're gonna then the poison. Ending. We're gonna fucking poison this movie with J.J. Abrams.
And that's what I appreciate here, is that it felt like it was something that they could have gotten nervous about and been like, stick Cloverfield in it, which is what 10 Cloverfield Lane was.
Yeah.
And they didn't do that. Maybe it was just because it was so different than... I mean, they could still make this a Cloverfield film if they wanted to. They could have made this been like the origin of the rifts that create the monsters or whatever.
Because they don't explain what it is the Nazis found under the ground there.
Right, yeah.
They never do.
Oh, maybe it is a Cloverfield movie after all.
Well, there's room if they want. But.
Yeah. But it's nice that he left it alone.
Yeah.
That he's like, it feels like the worst thing to be is a indie horror filmmaker who learns that their film was bought by Bad Robot. Because like every film he snatches up, they're just like, great, slap a Cloverfield on there,
shove a fucking spider alien in there.
Yeah, and so like it's he's actually doing the opposite of encouraging like indie horror or indie, like, I guess this is horror action. So yeah, I'll give it that it at least was a film that set out to do something very specific and did it. It looked like it had a budget on it.
It did, yeah. It looks good. I didn't feel the J.J. Abrams in it.
No, I didn't
There's
either.
Not a single fucking lens
he had
flare.
much.
No, he probably just threw some money at it.
Yeah. Which he should have.
Yeah, he should have. This deserved money, I think.
Yeah, I guess.
Give it $30 million, sure.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
I don't know if it's going to make that money.
I don't know. There were a lot of people in there.
Yeah, there was. We normally see things like in the morning, so every movie is like, there's not many people here. And I realize it's not a good gauge of like, not many people coming on a Friday morning.
Yeah, we saw this one on Saturday too, so it's like there's people actually off today to see movies.
Right, it's Saturday.
Yeah.
I totally forgot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
As you can tell, I'm really struggling with this. With my interest in this
I want to talk to my stepbrother who was an Army Ranger, airborne.
Oh, okay.
And this is an airborne battalion.
See what he has to say about it?
Yeah, see what he has to say about it. I mean, if you're a World War II enthusiast, I guess, a history buff, or just somebody who likes the old Call of Duty games, you'll recognize all the weapons.
Yeah, that's true.
They have the Browning, they have the Thompson.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked the gag when they made a bomb out of the one guy by tying him to his motorcycle.
Oh, yeah, and they shoved a grenade in his mouth.
That was pretty sweet.
I love how the Nazis just can't figure out what's going on. The guy's just like,
right,
like
yeah,
pointing, and they're all like, I don't understand this at all.
Yeah.
They like act hostile towards him.
Yeah.
And it's like his mouth is gagged.
Right, he's clearly been
that.
attacked, and he's been lashed to this motorcycle.
Yeah.
I like that they put two separate bombs. There's a grenade in his mouth and also like a whole satchel full of charges in his sidecar.
Oh, yeah, they wanted to be sure.
So that we see his head explode first. Great head explosion.
Yeah, that's a good head explosion.
And then everything else explodes.
That was like, Suspiria head explosion.
Super, yeah. We
Yeah.
got some good head explosions the past week.
Yeah, we have.
It's been some solid head dents.
Yeah. That's something.
Yeah. Go us.
Appreciate a good head explosion.
Appreciate a good head explosion. The effects look good on the guy who got his face shot off when it reveals how serious the damage is.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if there's any makeup effects or if it's all CG.
I mean, there's definitely makeup effects on the zombies.
Yeah.
The a lot of the.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Most.
I was bummed about that one headshot because I feel like they could have done a good practical head there.
They could have.
But they probably just. I mean, it's probably so much easier just to CGI that shit.
Yeah.
But when you watch it again, it's that head.
I'm sure it's gonna. It just.
It's
I wasn't expecting him to break his neck in half backwards. Right. So I guess I was so jarred by that I just wasn't looking at his face. Yeah, I mean most of the violence is CG, but
yeah, I didn't mind that. I guess.
It's easier than squibs, I guess.
Well, CGI blood is one of those things that they've been doing for a while now, and when it's bad, it's bad.
Yeah.
But when it works, I get it. Like David Fincher uses it a lot because he wants to get 1,000 takes.
Yeah.
So he's not going to reset squibs every time.
No.
And they clearly spend a lot of money on getting it right, and it looks good.
Yeah, it's good enough that you don't notice it.
Yeah. But then when it's bad, it's just like, ugh.
Yeah.
It really takes away like the impact. This one I didn't really notice.
No, you feel
the only effect
gunshots.
was that head that I was just like, no. But other than that, everything looked good, and I think it probably was because it's a combination of practical and CG.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, like that explosion where they cover the guy, they shove explosives in him. That seemed like a practical explosion.
It did, yeah.
And then when he's running out, that was obviously a CGI explosion at the end. Mostly, I think, just because, like, how else do you do that?
I thought it might have been like a composite because the explosion itself looked kind of real, even though I know that they would never set off an explosion right behind this guy.
It looked good. I've seen some decent CGI explosions in my time. So who can say?
I don't know. It looked good enough that, it wasn't. It was a neat shot.
Yeah,
you see him plant the shot charges and then run all the way out of the base as it's exploding.
As everything's exploding,
and then it pans up and you see the tower explode.
Yeah,
it's cool. I say watch the movie.
I don't know.
Yeah. It clearly just missed you completely.
That's the thing is that like if I was going to go pay money and see this, I would leave being like, I wish I didn't pay money to see that. Like it's a definitely, like I said, this is a VOD movie to me. This is a movie that I would watch on some afternoon and turn on. And it would be streaming and I would have not heard of it and I would watch it and go, yeah, it was pretty good. And then I would just forget about it.
Sure. I would go on living my life.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I just don't have much to say about it. If you saw the trailer and it looks like something you want to see, go see it. I don't think that's all right. If the trailer, because like we said, we weren't that.
I was not excited to see this movie.
if you are excited to see this movie, you'll probably like it.
Yeah,
it's slower than you will expect it to be.
I will say, if you're expecting full-on Call of Duty Nazi zombies, you'll be disappointed.
Yes.
Because there's not a lot of zombies.
Yeah. But if that general premise intrigues you, then you'll probably enjoy this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm curious to hear what other people have to say about it.
It's like somebody threw mutant monsters into Inglourious Bastards.
Right.
Is the kind of war movie that it strikes me as.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a Tarantino view of war. It's that.
Yeah.
It's like
a fever dream of war.
Yeah. It's a war movie made by someone who hasn't been anywhere near war.
No.
Yeah.
No. Although they
and that's
don't,
all right. That's a lot of movies.
Yeah. I will say that it doesn't tap dance past gun violence. Like anytime somebody gets shot, it's a big deal.
No, I think the person who made it probably had respect for war, but just probably didn't have a perspective on war. Not to say I do either.
Right.
But like it wasn't, the war stuff didn't stand out in any particularly amazing way to me. Like it's competent.
I worry about movies like this too, where it feels too exploitative, because I really fucking hate the idea of Nazi zombies and Call of Duty and stuff. 'Cause it's like even you're making this very serious thing like a cheap carnival ride.
Right. Inglourious Bastards bugged me for that too, which I don't mind that movie, but like I think it's that thing of as we get farther away from these events, they turn into cartoons.
They become abstract,
Yeah, and like, so be it. I guess that's the thing that's going to happen. Like, think of the movie Wild Wild West. Yeah. Like, imagine showing that to like a Civil War veteran.
Yeah.
They'd be like, fuck you.
Yeah. What the fuck is this?
What the fuck is this?
Harold Bloodbath McGrath.
So yeah, like it's inevitable.
So there's a little bit of that in this. Not as much as I was worried about.
A little Wild Wild West?
No, a little bit of...
Oh yeah, no, definitely, yeah. Not as much as I was.
Not as much as I was worried about. So that's fine, but
it did feel like it felt like it. I obviously comparing this to Saving Private Ryan or any war movie to that is unfair, but it's that where it's like this felt like when people were shot, it was a little more about like gore than it was about like this is real.
No, that
yeah. It was just like, look at this blood.
Yeah. Like, there's a little bit of, isn't World War II Q?
Yeah. There's a little bit, but not
as much as I was preached, so it's fine.
Yeah, all you World War II veterans seeing this, I don't think it'll be...
No, it won't. It won't
be that bad.
I don't think you'll be that offended by it.
Yeah.
I don't got anything else to say. I think that's a sode.
No, I think so, too.
I think that's a sode.
I think we can say goodbye.
Yeah, thank you guys for listening. Check out our Patreon, patreon.com/GameFullyUnemployed. Check out our t-shirts.
Yeah, check out our t-shirts.
/user/GameFullyUnemployed.
Yeah, wear those.
Yeah, wear them. Wear them with pride.
Yeah, or shame.
Or shame.
Yeah.
Whatever you're feeling.
Yeah.
Whatever you need the shirt to be, it will be that for you.